Welcome back to the Global Gaming Network Power Rankings. Today we're talking Call of Duty. Black Ops 6 is going to be played at the Esports World Cup soon. Obviously, we just finished Champs, so there's so much to talk about. Joining with me today is our Call of Duty expert, my man, Andy Proper. How are we doing today, Andy?
I'm doing great. It feels good to be back here for another Power Rankings episode to talk shop just about some Call of Duty stuff this time around. It's not just the 12 teams or the 8. We got some new faces coming into the mix.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, Andy is a codcaster himself and focuses on the Challenger scene, so he's going to have some unique insights on some of these Challenger teams that we're going to see at EWC that I'm excited about. So let's talk about our formula real quick. If you've been here, you already know the drill, but if you're new here, where have you been? And second of all, to know how the formula works, it does take into consideration your champs placement, an expert opinion score, and series win percentages, and a few other things. So that's where these numbers are about to come from. With that understood, let's go ahead and look at our number 5 on the list. That's going to be Miami Heretics. They come in with a score of 63 at EWC. Their team name is just going to be Heretics for that EWC champ points, so don't be alarmed. But this team is one that I'm personally a huge fan of. The story of Rincor coming in and just proving that he belongs at the top with these guys has been incredible. They get 4th at Major 3, 3rd at Major 4, and then 4th once again at Champs. So extremely consistent. My question for you, Andy, is do we think they're going to perform the same way going into EWC? Have they looked good in scrims? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Mostly because they looked me all in the eyes literally after Championship Sunday, and they promised me they're going to win the event. No lie. I think that Miami Heretics, the Heretics, however we're going to be coining them, are actually in a really good position to be able to do quite well at EWC. If you think about it, upward trajectory continuously as the season has gone along. You got the Rookie of the Year Rancor on that roster, plus Super, who remembers that exact clip of bringing Super out because they're both deserving of that exact mantle, and they have a lot of time spent together playing with Real and Metals. I think that their biggest problem could be coming out too flat in an opening round versus whoever they're going to be facing, whatever it may be. It has plagued them in the past before, but Rancor, Super on the same team, that is the definition of consistency. They've looked completely stellar as far as scrims are concerned, but it's just respawns at the end of the day. They have to be able to close out search and destroys, which they have struggled with all regular season.
Yeah, not only that, but they've got the pool of death. Yes. I mean, they're in a pool with FaZe and both of the Omit Challengers teams. It's going to be really interesting to see how they fare. That, to me, is the one pool I would not want to be in, even as one of these top teams, because they've been looking rocky.
Yeah, I mean, look, their opening matchup would be that Project 7 team, which is the Omid Brooklyn roster. That's Brack, Standy, and co., which is going to be a very tough matchup, I would say, stylistically, for the Heretics who like to play very fast. P7 is going to probably want to play very, very slow, a little bit more methodical, but as the group progresses, whether you win that or not, you're going to be going up against Omid, which is the #1 Challengers team, or FaZe. So good luck. But they have beat FaZe before in the past and recently on LAN for top 6.
That's true. It's going to be a spicy one indeed. You know that FaZe has been thinking about that loss for a while.
I know.
So. But with that known, let's go ahead and jump into number 4 on the list. Just 1 point higher than Heretics with a score of 64, and that's going to be Vancouver Surge. So Surge has been a very interesting team all year. I mean, they're one of the most consistent teams. They finished 2nd at now 3 of the LANs, including Champs, of course. They finally got some wins in grand finals, which was something that I'm sure was a monkey off their back, as they did take Optic all the way to, game 8? But they did also have that kind of fluky top 12 where they got double bounced in Major 4. So that's probably why they don't find themselves higher on the list. Now, their pool is with LA Thieves, Gentlemates, and Orchid. What do you think about their chances to make it out of this pool?
I think that if you're looking at this entire group so far for Group B, you feel very, very bad for Gentlemates and Team Orchid. Vancouver Surge and 100 Thieves, that has been a grand finals twice, almost thrice, if you count the MITRE tournament that also happened between those two teams. People still regard Vancouver Surge and 100 Thieves to still be top 2, if not top 3 teams within the entirety of the game because they have so much time spent against each other. For the Surge, it's very confusing because that top 12 does kind of stain their record, sure, but ever since you dropped Hixie and you brought up a newfound player of Neptune from his time spent in Challengers, that team has seen so many grand finals besides that one time that they gave Vegas Falcons their first win on LAN. So I truly do think that Surge, maybe that stain is just going to get bleached and we won't even think about it. They got their map wins in grand finals It's not going to be held over their head. They have a very good back of house with one of the smartest coaches in the game, of Rambo Ray, to keep them prepared for any one of these matchups. And if you're thinking from Surge's perspective, they probably know that they're going to be the #1 team from this group. If there's only one team they're going to be preparing for, it would be the 100-team matchup that they know they're going to inevitably have to face up against.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be all eyes on Neptune and Nasty.
Yeah.
I think these are definitely the two X factors. I mean, Abuza and 04 are so consistent. I feel like they're always going to show up, but the true X factors are Nasty and Neptune. So the double ins need to carry as they go into this LAN if they want to come into another grand final. But let's go ahead and look at number 3 on the list. It's a team that we just talked about a little bit, and that's going to be LA Thieves, going in as 100 Thieves, obviously for EWC clubs. But this team might shock a lot of people to be down in 3rd. I mean, this is a team that won the last 2 major LANs of the year leading into Champs, but then of course at Champs they get double bounced. They lose to Boston in game 5, second time now they've lost to them in round 1 at a major, and then they get 3-0'd by Surge on the lower side. So there's a lot of question marks. You know, what happened? There's been some talks about the patch as well. So do we think that on this current patch that is different from Champs, do we think LA Thieves will be able to bounce back?
I don't even know if you could bring the patch into the conversation for LA Thieves, because the patch that they got bounced top 8 at for Champs is the same patch that they won Major 4 on. So there's
That's true.
It's really hard to justify the patch conversation for the LA Thieves, but something just was not right with that team at Champs. I mean, say what you will for how well Vancouver did play in that top 8 matchup in lower round 1 when they 3-0'd, absolutely eviscerated LA Thieves. Like, that is something nobody saw coming, but it did happen. And I think that if you are LA Thieves, maybe you kind of laugh at it. You're a little bit frustrated if you are Scrap because you know you're still chasing that one championship. In EWC, he's been very public to say he would not equivalate that to what the championship season would be for the regular season of the CDL. But semantics aside, you know that they want to do quite well. Ghosty from 100 Thieves made it to grand finals last EWC, lost to FaZe. The rest of that team on the other side are all world champions within their own right. They're going to take this very, very seriously. And just as a personal thing, I fully just disagree with LA Thieves being at the number 3 spot. I still regard them to be the #1 team in the game. Recency bias be damned. Sole reason is because they peaked at the end of the season. Whatever happened at Champs, happened at Champs. But from what I've got to see on the live patch, going back to your point, in the scrims that we currently have in Respawn, which has been one of their biggest problems, they look really, really good, man. They are still the #1 control team in the game, and if they win maps 1 or 2, a guaranteed map 3 win right there, you're probably going to win 4 or 5.
It makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and we've also just seen so many highlight moments from Hydra. I want to talk about
That guy's
him.
gross.
I feel like there's times that he has the highest ceiling in the game. I mean, when he's at that ceiling, it looks like he's absolutely unstoppable.
I don't think that anybody would dissuade the entire point nor argument that Hydra is the best player in the game. Is Shotzi mechanically gifted? Sure, but it's the decision-making that makes Hydra just a step above.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he can show up and show out at EWC. I'm looking forward to watch this team, see if they can bounce back. But going into number 2 on the list, that's going to be Atlanta FaZe with a score of 70. You guys can start to see where this one's going. But FaZe is a team that started off the season hot, winning the first 2 LANs. Then they get top 6, get 2nd, and then top 6 once again at Champs. So this is a very interesting one. We've been hearing some rumors about, maybe some things happening behind the scenes, people talking about potential team changes. Ultimately, that's not going to happen before EWC, but maybe after, if they continue to underperform. They're in that pool of death with Miami and both Omit teams, and I actually see a reality where one of the Omit teams could actually beat them. What do you think?
It's possible, but you also got to remember what happened at EWC last year as well. And from the CDL Champs, what happened was that I think FaZe got like top 6 at CDL Champs for MW3, and then they went into EWC, and then they won the entire dang thing. The scariest part just about the core 3 of Simp, Abizi, and Celium is that they are willing to get down to business. They've been doing it since CDL's inception. They've seen so many different AR duos and other teammates kind of fly through the Atlanta FaZe wings. Draza, he might be the next one on the chopping block. Who knows? It's all just assuming things behind the scenes, and we don't want to do that. You know what happens. assumptions, Eli. But regardless, I think that if you are looking at it from FaZe, you're just going to get down, you're going to buckle down on the practice because you know that it's another championship that you can chase. These guys have been Silver Surfers for far too long, for so many different seasons, that adding another trophy to their very big case would be a massive step in the right direction. But they've been shown in the past, towards the end of the season, like you said, they peaked at the beginning. They won Major 1, Major 2 after winning EWC, that they have been falling short time and time again, losing to the Miami Heretics, and then also losing Grand Finals to LA Thieves back at Major 4. There's a distinct possibility that one of the OMID teams, or P7 as it may be, might catch them by surprise if they are not ready.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're going to be ready, though. I mean, obviously, they got a bad taste in their mouth after champs, so we'll see if they can bring it. And this team is capable of great things on any given Sunday or Friday or Saturday. So
all 4 of them are world champions within their own right, on different altercations for different teams as well. Simp is still regarded to be one of the greatest Call of Duty players of all time. Beezy's up there to be one of the greatest Search and Destroy players of all time. He's had a really lackluster season, but you put him in an environment like EWC where it's a secluded environment like that. They're so far away, separated from the crowd itself, that they can truly lock in. And I think that if you're not prepared for that environment going up against Atlanta FaZe, that's when they do their best work.
Yeah, I think Simp's going to be scary on this patch. We've mentioned that the SMGs are a lot more powerful right now on the patch, so he might just pop off. But that's going to do it for the top 4, or let's go ahead and get into number 1. That's going to be, of course, Optic Texas, coming in with a score of 85. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, they won one tournament, Mickey Mouse tournament, whatever. But no, man, it's the biggest tournament of the year. Mercules is that guy. As soon as he joined this team, they went from placing top 8 at the beginning of the year to 4th and then to 1st place. Their upward trajectory has been exponential. It's just been fun to watch. And I think that just from the eye test alone, I mean, there was not a team that could touch them until they ran into Vancouver Surge in the grand finals. Of course, Surge put up a good fight, but it just felt like their destiny to win that tournament. Granted, they didn't run into a FaZe, they didn't run into an LA Thieves, but they still just looked up. Well, sorry, they 3-0'd FaZe.
Yep. That's why it felt like they never ran into them.
Yeah, that's why I forgot, because it happened so fast. But this team just looks so good right now. Are they going to continue to ride their high, or do you think they might fizzle out?
It's tough to gauge how long a honeymoon phase will last, right? And I think that that's where a lot of people are finger pointing, unless you are a Greenwall super fanatic. That Mercules is bringing this new rejuvenation to the team almost, to be able to walk in 3-0 Atlanta FaZe and then 100-point club Toronto Ultra the immediate round afterwards and not lose a single map until you got into grand finals versus Vancouver Surge. So I think that if you're looking from Optic Texas, it's a whole bunch of unknown quantities. But I will say this much, though, is that you do have the biggest X factor and the hottest commodity as far as Call of Duty is concerned, and that is Mercules. This guy, through 3 tournaments so far, his average placing, I know, albeit a low sample size, is closer to 1 than it is further away. Top 3 with Toronto Ultra, and then he also got the top 4 there with Optic there for Major 4, and then he won champs. Like, that's just insane. So if he goes in for EWC and he gets a bare minimum top 2, he actually surpasses Simp as the highest average placing player of all time. It's still his rookie season, keep in mind you, but I think that for Mercules, you still don't know what that could do for the team. We saw what he was able to do with the Jackal on the old patch back in champs. Now we're on the new patch where you can continuously run triple submachine gun on maps like Hacienda, or if you get into a protocol search and destroy absolute bang out, you could see Mercules with the submachine gun in hand as well. Brucey may have sat there and said that they are in an unfavored group considering they're a world champ, but who are you mostly concerned with? G2 beat them before they were even at champs. Cloud9 New York, don't even worry about it. They just went through a roster change. Maybe Gwyn might bring something new to that team, but I'm sorry to say, I fully agree that Optic Texas may not be number 1, but they are definitely top 3, and probably number 2 where I would be putting them, but they are a very scary team, and they're going to do quite well at this tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch for sure. And yeah, I was a little bit confused by the comments about their pool, because like, to me, this pool looks very winnable. I mean, you got Cloud9 who's on a down tick, as are G2. I mean, G2 have shown some moments of brilliance here and there, but it's like, I feel like Optic's just going to overpower them, and they're going to come out ahead, like, first in this pool easily. So
then you got 5 Fears too. Like 5 Fears literally found out they're going to be playing EWC like last week. So
right, yeah, they're the team that came in because CRR got bounced out, right?
And what I know, this doesn't mean anything to you, but it will mean something to the Call of Duty scene. You also got Caden Exceed on that 5 Fears team. So you're not really worried about the Challengers team here.
That's messed up. Shots fired. All right. Well, that's our top 5. We got a couple honorable mentions to go through, though. First of all, we want to talk about Toronto Ultra. Now, I don't think that Joe DeCeves was able to show what he's capable of. We saw Insight and Kleenex. Still always playing super well. This duo has been together forever. But they definitely had a lackluster champs. And then, of course, Beans no longer on the team. He's now on that Team Orchid roster. They got Abe coming in. Do we think that this is because of the patch and Abe being a better SMG?
I think so. I think what Toronto Ultra kind of got a taste of with Mercules back in Major 3 was the potential for a faster paced flex. And although Beans is a faster paced player with an AR in hands, he still gets himself into trouble with holding too many angles with a Jackal in hand. And I think that that's where you bring in Abe. Now keep in mind, it's not just a roster change, it's also a role change. You've got Kleenex now going over towards the flex. So your AR duo is now the longtime Toronto Ultra duo of Insight and Kleenex to work quite well with each other. Abe and Joe DeCeves have time spent together playing with one another. Abe is a part of that long tenured list of individuals that came with Mercules and lurks as one of the hottest conversations as the up-and-coming new talent for CDL. So I'm very excited to see what Abe does bring to the table. It should help up the ante just a little bit, not to mention with Kleenex on that flex roll. I talked about it a handful of times. Might as well be talking about here with Movie Star Koya, I guess. Their triple SMG might do quite well.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. Of course, Toronto Ultra is going to be as Movie Star Koi at this event for the club championship points. So keep that in mind when you are watching. And while I have you, I got to ask you to tell us a little bit more about the Challengers teams, because these are teams that you have casted and seen inside and out. Who has, I guess, who should we have our eyes out for at this tournament?
Yeah, getting to see 3 of 4 of these teams actually qualify in person up in Canada was actually quite nice. But I think for me personally, when it comes down to these teams, there's only one that you're mostly going to be looking out for, and that would be the Omid. The Omid GG team, not the P7 Omid Brooklyn team. Unfortunate to say. I think that Omid team with Mamba, with Praise, Mac Melts, and Vivid, 2 players which were on a CDL team, different CDL teams at the beginning of the year, showed up into Challengers and started winning just about everything. Praise and Mamba towards the end of the season were also winning just about everything as well. And you even go back to that Optic podcast that Dashi was on there with Hex, with Scump, and Hitch as well. He tipped his cap to this team. They are nasty. They have a very good coaching staff. They have a very good supporting staff as well. Shout out Rafi to keep these guys well in check to be in a championship winning mentality. That grand finals versus Omid Brooklyn on that main stage was not close. Vivid is a lanimal. Mac is a lanimal. Every 4 of those players are going to do quite well in Group D. And although we have said it's the group of death, it is because Omid is there. Whether it's FaZe or Heretics, I'm not too sure, but Omid are going to be one of them.
Wow, strong words. Yeah, Omid are going to be fun to watch. This is a team that I personally haven't been able to watch too much because they're not in the CDL, but if there's anything that we have learned from these pickups from CDL teams is these Challenger kids are hungry, man.
Yeah.
They're nasty at the video game. So we'll have to see them and if they can topple some of the top seeds in the tournament. But that's going to do it for our power rankings. Just want to say thanks for watching once again. We do a ton of these different videos covering different games, League of Legends. We've even got an EWC Club Championship video. Make sure you guys check that out. But until next time, my name's Eli the Ninja for Proper Cast. Thank you guys. We'll see you in the next one.